The War of Currents, Tesla versus Edison. Picture this, New York City, 1893. Two men stand on opposite sides of the greatest technological war in history. One holds a 1,000,000-volt electrical current coursing through his body, and he's smiling. The other watches from the shadows, knowing his empire is about to crumble. This is the moment that will decide how the world gets its power. And it all started with a broken promise and faux sense. Welcome to Global History Explorer. I'm your host, and today we're diving into the most electrifying rivalry in human history, the battle between Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla that literally shaped the modern world. Act 1. Parallel Origins. The year is 1856. In two different corners of the world, two boys are born who will one day wage war over the very fabric of civilization. Their names? Thomas Alva Edison and Nikola Tesla. Thomas Edison's beginning. Let's start with Edison. Born in Milan, Ohio, to a family of modest means, Edison's early life was anything but promising. His teacher dismissed him as too dumb to learn anything after just 3 months, a form of schooling. Can you imagine? The future holder of 1,093 patents was considered intellectually deficient by his first-grade teacher. But Edison's mother, Nancy, saw something different. She pulled him from school and taught him herself. In that basement, she created a makeshift laboratory where young Thomas could experiment with chemicals and crude electrical devices. By age 12, he was selling newspapers on trains. By 16, he was a telegraph operator, already improving on existing technology. Edison's method was simple. Try everything until something works. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This relentless trial and error approach would define his entire career. Nikola Tesla's beginning. Now, across the Atlantic, in the village of Smiljan, in what is now Croatia, a very different kind of genius was emerging. Nikola Tesla was born during one of the most violent thunderstorms in local memory. The midwife, terrified by the lightning, declared the baby a child of darkness. His mother, Juka, replied prophetically, "No, he will be a child of light." Tesla's mind worked in ways that seemed almost supernatural. While other children played with toys, Tesla built intricate mechanical devices in his imagination. He could visualize entire machines down to the smallest detail, run them in his mind for weeks, then mentally disassemble them to check for wear. No blueprints, no physical models, just pure mental engineering. His photographic memory was legendary. Tesla could recite entire books after reading them once. He spoke 8 languages fluently and could perform complex mathematical calculations in his head faster than others could with paper and pencil. But Tesla's genius came with a price. He suffered from what we might now recognize as obsessive-compulsive disorder. He was terrified of germs, required exactly 18 napkins at every meal, and could not bear to touch anything round. His mind was both his greatest asset and his greatest burden. The fundamental difference. Here is what makes this rivalry so fascinating. Edison and Tesla represented two completely different approaches to innovation. Edison was the practical inventor. He saw a problem and tinkered until he found a solution. Tesla was the theoretical genius. He understood the fundamental laws of physics and engineered solutions that seemed to defy possibility. Edison once said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." Tesla counted, "The present is theirs. The future, for which I really worked, is mine." These weren't just different philosophies. They were declarations of war. Act 2. The Fateful Meeting. June 1884. A gaunt, impeccably dressed young man steps off an immigrant ship at Ellis Island. Nikola Tesla has arrived in America with full cents in his pocket, a book of poetry, and detailed calculations for a flying machine. He carries one precious document, a letter of recommendation to Thomas Edison. Tesla makes his way to Edison's famous invention factory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. This isn't just a laboratory. It's an industrial complex where Edison employs hundreds of workers to systematically churn out inventions. It's the world's first research and development facility, and Edison is its undisputed king. When Tesla presents his letter, Edison reads it aloud. "My dear Edison, I know two great men, and you are one of them. The other is this young man standing before you." Edison studies this strange foreigner. Tesla is tall, thin, and dressed like a gentleman despite his obvious poverty. His English is perfect, but heavily accented. His eyes burn with an intensity that make people uncomfortable. Edison, always practical, cuts to the chase. "You're the AC motor fellow. Show me what you can do." The Great Betrayal. For the next 6 months, Tesla works like a man possessed. Edison has given him an impossible task: redesign his direct current generators to make them more efficient. These machines are the backbone of Edison's electrical empire, providing power to businesses and homes across America. Tesla works 18-hour days, 7 days a week. He doesn't just improve the generators, he revolutionizes them. The new designs are more efficient, more reliable, and cheaper to manufacture. Edison's company stands to save hundreds of thousands of dollars. When Tesla completes the work, he asks Edison for the promised payment, $50,000. That's over $1.5 million in today's money. Edison looks at him and chuckles. "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor. That was a joke." In that moment, something dies in Tesla's eyes. He has worked himself to near exhaustion, delivered the impossible, and been mocked for his efforts. Tesla stands up, looks Edison in the eye, and says coldly, "Mr. Edison, you do not understand the Serbian sense of honor." Tesla walks out of Edison's laboratory and never returns. The stage is set for the greatest technological war in human history. Act 3. The war begins. Tesla's breakthrough. Alone and nearly penniless, Tesla faces a choice: give up his dreams or prove Edison wrong. He chooses to fight. Working in a cramped laboratory with second-hand equipment, Tesla perfects his alternating current motor. Here's what matters. Edison's direct current can only travel short distances before losing power. To light a city with DC, you need a power station every few blocks. Tesla's alternating current can travel hundreds of miles with minimal loss. It's the difference between lighting a neighborhood and powering a continent. Tesla's AC motor is elegant in its simplicity. It uses rotating magnetic fields to create motion. No brushes, no sparks, no maintenance. It's everything Edison's DC motors are not: efficient, reliable, and scalable. Enter George Westinghouse. In 1888, Tesla meets George Westinghouse, a brilliant entrepreneur who immediately recognizes the potential of AC power. Westinghouse pays Tesla the equivalent of $7 million for his AC patents and offers him a royalty on every AC motor sold. Tesla is suddenly wealthy beyond his wildest dreams. Edison realizes he's facing an existential threat. His entire business empire is built on direct current. If Tesla and Westinghouse succeed, Edison's company could collapse overnight. The war begins. Edison's propaganda campaign. Edison launches a vicious public relations campaign against alternating current. He stages public demonstrations where he electrocutes animals with AC current, claiming it's too dangerous for homes. He coins the term Westinghoused to mean electrocuted. Edison's most sinister move is backing the development of the electric chair, specifically designed to use AC current. His goal is to forever associate alternating current with death in the public mind. He testifies before lawmakers, arguing that AC is so dangerous it should be banned. The press loves the controversy. Headlines scream, "Death current," and Westinghouse current kills. Edison appears to be winning the propaganda war, but Tesla has a secret weapon. Then Act 4, the demonstration. The World's Columbian Exposition. In 1893, Chicago hosts the World's Columbian Exposition, the largest World's Fair in history. The contract to light the entire fair is up for grabs. Edison bids $354,000 using his DC system. Westinghouse and Tesla bid $399,000 using AC. When Westinghouse wins the contract, Edison knows he's in trouble. The fair will showcase AC power to millions of visitors from around the world. Tesla must prove that AC is not only safe, but superior. On opening night, Tesla stands before a crowd of dignitaries, scientists, and reporters. What he does next will be talked about for generations. Tesla begins his demonstration by explaining the principles of alternating current. Then, without warning, he picks up electrical cables carrying hundreds of thousands of volts and lets the current flow through his body. The crowd gasps. Tesla's body becomes a human conductor, yet he stands there calmly, explaining the science. Tesla then demonstrates wireless power transmission, lighting bulbs with no wires, creating artificial lightning, and controlling mechanical devices from across the room. The audience is spellbound. Here is technology that seems to belong in the next century. The fair is a triumph. Over 27 million people visit, and all of them see AC power in action. Edison's death current is revealed as safe, efficient, and revolutionary. The final blow comes with the Niagara Falls Power Project. The commission to harness the fall's power is the most prestigious electrical contract in history. Edison's DC system can't transmit power over the required distance. Tesla's AC system can. When Tesla and Westinghouse win the contract, it's over. AC power will light New York City, supplied by generators at Niagara Falls. Edison's DC empire crumbles. He's forced to abandon his electrical company, which merges with the competitor to become General Electric. Act 5, the aftermath. Tesla's triumph and tragedy. Tesla should have been the richest man in America. His AC patents alone were worth billions in today's money. But Tesla makes a decision that will haunt him forever. When Westinghouse faces financial difficulties, Tesla tears up his royalty contract, the one that would have made him wealthy beyond imagination. Why? Tesla claims he doesn't want money to interfere with his research. He wants to give his inventions to humanity freely. It's a noble gesture that leaves him penniless for the rest of his life. Tesla continues inventing at a furious pace. He develops radio technology before Marconi, experiments with X-rays before Röntgen, and creates the foundations of modern wireless communication. He envisions a world where information and power flow freely through the air. But Tesla's later years are marked with increasing eccentricity and isolation. His obsessions grow stronger. He falls in love with a pigeon, claims to communicate with aliens, and announces plans for a death ray that can destroy armies. Edison's legacy. Edison, meanwhile, reinvents himself as a media mogul. He creates the first movie studio and produces thousands of films. He develops the phonograph and creates the first recorded music industry. He holds more patents than any other inventor in history. But Edison never forgives Tesla for winning the war of currents. He spends his final years trying to minimize Tesla's contributions to electrical science. When reporters ask about Tesla, Edison dismisses him as a dreamer and an impractical visionary. The final irony? Here's the ultimate irony. Both men die as the modern world they created is being born. Edison dies in 1931, surrounded by his inventions, but overshadowed by newer technologies. Tesla dies alone in 1943 in a New York hotel room, broke and forgotten by the world he helped create. At Tesla's funeral, the scientific community finally acknowledges his genius. They realize that this eccentric immigrant was 50 years ahead of his time. Nearly every piece of modern technology, from smartphones to electric cars, is built on Tesla's discoveries. Conclusion: the legacy. Today, we live in Tesla's world. The electricity powering your home is AC current, transmitted over long distances just as Tesla envisioned. The wireless communication connecting the globe follows principles Tesla discovered. The electric motors in hybrid cars use Tesla's designs. But we also live in Edison's world. The systematic approach to invention, the integration of research and development, the creation of entire industries around new technologies, all of this comes from Edison's playbook. The war of currents wasn't just about electricity. It was about two fundamentally different approaches to human progress. Edison believed in incremental improvement through relentless experimentation. Tesla believed in revolutionary leaps through deep understanding of natural laws. In the end, both approaches were necessary. Edison gave us the practical foundation of modern technology. Tesla gave us the theoretical framework for the future. Their rivalry pushed both men to achievements neither could have reached alone. The next time you flip a light switch, remember the war that made it possible. Two immigrants, one from a small Ohio town, one from a remote Serbian village, fought over the very essence of electrical power. Their battle illuminated the modern world and created the technological civilization we live in today. That's the power of rivalry. That's the power of genius. And that's why, more than a century later, we're still talking about the war of currents between Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla.